Man. So my feelings about, well, actually thoughts about what is to happen during the rest of the primary season, even though there's a number of states left to go. My attitude and feeling about this and thoughts about it are not positive at all. And if you remember back in 2000, when certain people were screaming that for the first time in our history, the voters did not select a president. The president was selected by the Supreme Court, this right-wing neo-fascist Supreme Court. And a lot of people in this country who realized what was going on, most of us were too goddamn ignorant back then, 16 years ago, to realize what had happened. But the people who did try to sound the alarm and ring the warning bell were idiotized by the corporate press. They were mocked, made fun of, laughed at, said, oh, stop it, for Christ's sake. What are you talking about? Until finally, a consortium of newspapers in this country who 16 years ago were still able to say, fuck you to the power system, when that consortium did an in-depth investigation and they came to the absolute conclusion and backed it up with absolute facts that Al Gore won the state of Florida, which meant that Al Gore should have been president. Now, what happened after that? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing insofar as who the president was. Oh, a lot of things happened. War crimes, death, destruction, murder, mayhem, a recession, the financial services industry raping the entire country. That was a gift from Dick Cheney. But nothing happened, to the extent that when that fucking George Bush ran again, he got reelected. Even though we have to assume that millions of Americans were aware that the election had been literally, not figuratively, literally stolen from Al Gore, the presidency had. And that the election, thanks to Katherine Harris and the rest of the people, Jeb Bush and the rest of them, who determined, hey, George is going to be president. The presidency was stolen. And look at the results. Now, I know that Al Gore is a DLC Democrat, or was. I know. But I just have a gut feeling. Two things. First, I seriously doubt if the horror of 9/11 in New York and Washington and Pennsylvania would have occurred. A. B, even if it had, I don't think that Al Gore would have decided his response would be the commission of war crimes of a nature that we found warranted hanging of the people who did it in World War II. I don't think Al Gore would have done that. I think what he would have done, had 9/11 occurred anyway, would have handled it the way it should have been handled. A criminal enterprise. And to unleash these vaunted secretive agencies that exist here in the United States and the UK and France and Russia, unleashed them to find these sons of bitches and bring them to justice, I think that would have been Al Gore's way. Plus, I think Al Gore would have taken a look at what was being said by the supporters of the perpetrators. Those in the Middle East who said, you know, you Americans have been fucking with us for 100 years. Ever since 1918, you've just been beating the shit out of us, taking our resources, ghettoizing us, moving European and American and South African Jews into our country. You have done nothing to be even-handed. You steal our resources. You overthrow our governments. Fuck you. I'm sure Al Gore would have realized what the motivating factors, the motivating energy was that brought down the Twin Towers, and would have tried to address that.